Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to another Pokemon Cards Mail Day. So the cards that you see in front of you are not received by mail, but I actually went to two friends to purchase a part of their Pokemon card collection. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it, as I'm going to talk you through the process and talk about a couple of the prices that I paid for it, and let's see if I made a good deal indeed. Putting away the PSA slab and saving it for last. So I went to my buddy's house and they got their Pokemon card collection out, and I took a good look at what they had, and I saw immediately that it was mainly Celebrations. During the year 2021, when Celebrations was released, we opened up a lot of product together with a group of friends. I have told this many times before in previous videos basically. And as you can see, basically we came to an agreement on the price and I took home a lot of cards. But what was the problem that I told you about Monday as well? I was not very liquid and they messaged me very suddenly, so I didn't have a lot of time to get some money in the bank account. And what did I do? Over the weekend and during this week I decided to pull some cards from my personal Pokemon card collection that I knew had gained value over time, and I was trying to sell them as fast as possible, at least before I went to my friend's house. Luckily enough, as you will see in a short video that I will release very soon, I was able to sell some of those cards, so I had a good chunk of change, which allowed me to purchase a large part of the collection. Now we had some bulk here. We have some cool full arts, or rather ultra rares, from different sets. You can see Darkness Ablaze mainly here, which were also inserted in the Celebrations Elite Trainer box and, for example, the mini tins. So the cards were mainly from that era, 2021. And in total I paid for this entire haul 150 bucks, and they had a lot of their collection left. But when I told them in advance that I didn't have a lot of capital in the bank account currently, they also decided to sell off a part of the collection to other interested buyers. So I still had a lot of choice, but not everything was still available. We decided to go off all the lowest card market listings. For the bulk I paid a little bit more, and for some of these cards, yeah, you can consider them bulk, but they're very nice ultra rares. I think I paid $1 each or so for these Flying Pikachus and Serving Pikachus. And I will try to slow sell them one by one and try to make $1 on it. And usually I also pay the lowest card market listing for my cards, but now I didn't have to calculate the shipping costs. So if I usually pay $1 for this card and it is 50 cents shipping, and now I got it just for $1. In these cases the shipping is almost half of the value of the card, so it was very advantageous for me to be able to pick the cards up in person. Now here are some cards that really shocked me. We went off of the lowest card market listing, but these cards I have been selling and buying for $1 to $2 each for 2 to 3 years. I really wish I purchased more of these Flying Pikachu VMAX at that time point, as we have here Serving Pikachu VMAXs as well, because they are now the lowest listing, I think about $5 each. And I'm not certain if I'm going to sell them immediately. And I must say, since I am used to the price point and I have the price memory of them being $2 to $3, and now I suddenly have to pay $5 for them, it felt for me, although they are the lowest listing prices, that it is still a kind of a risk to buy it for those prices. Anyways, moving on, I only paid 50 cents or so for these cards, and I know I'm able to sell them for $1 to $2 each, so that's quite alright. This one $1 as well. And then we get to some Celebrations bulk that is not really seen as bulk anymore. I mean, there are people that think $5 cards are still bulk, but this one went up from 20 cents to about $4. It is incredible. The PSA 10 copies of these cards are skyrocketing as well. Maybe they came down in the meantime a little bit as well. A couple of months ago I think you paid at least $100 for them, and so goes for the Ho-Oh as well. Just some random cards that you pulled quite often from these booster packs, and now they have been going up in value. So I made sure that the condition was nice on all these cards before I purchased them, obviously, and before I was going to pay the lowest near mint card market price. I'm very curious to find out if I'm able to sell them with a little bit of profit. But what I paid, in my opinion, extra on some of these bulk cards made it alright on these cards, because I purchased this one for $1, which was the lowest card market price, but I know from experience and previous sales that if I have a lot of Celebrations cards, people don't mind spending $2 to $3 on, for example, the Donphan. That makes up for it a little bit as we move into the Luxray. I've purchased these for $1 to $2 for the longest of time, $3 sometimes. I think they were now lowest listing $3 to $4. I'm going to try to sell it all with a 20% probably upcharge. And this also brings me to the subject that I wish I had purchased more Celebrations Pokemon cards and sold less of them over the last 5 years almost. These prices went up so much. I was able to purchase the Dark Gyarados for $2 to $3 for the longest of time. I purchased them and sold them with a 20% profit for many times over. But the prices went up in the meantime and they are now about $6 each. I think it is a reasonable price for every card in the Classic Collection subset of the set Celebrations, because these prices of the booster packs are going up quite fast right now. And the funny part is, the only card that didn't go shoot up in price, almost the only card, is the Charizard that has been sitting around the 120 mark for so long. It went to 80 to 140, but it never doubled in value as these cards went from $2 to $6. Yes, I know it's a lot more effort to sell these kind of cards compared to getting a smaller margin on the Charizards, for example. And they still had a Charizard left, but I choose to not purchase it over all these cards that I purchased over there. There's a little bit smaller collectors group for that kind of cards. Although I must admit, every week or so, every other week, I get multiple messages. Hey, do you also have the Charizard? Every time again. Since I'm selling tens or hundreds of the Venusaur and Blastoises over the last 5 years. But I have to admit I have 3 Charizards. I think they have a potential great shot at PSA 10, but some even have a great shot at the Black Label Beckett's. So they are sitting in my binder for years now and I'm not going to sell them. I pulled them myself, and if I'm going to ever do something with it, I'm going to get them graded. Talking about graded cards, that brings us to this Pikachu Celebrations reprint of the base set. Basically, it's a full art. Same story as what happened to the Mew and some other Celebrations cards. The PSA 10 price of these cards exploded, as did the raw near mint copy price. I was able to purchase this card for 3 years at least, between 2021 and 2024, for 20 cents a piece. And now we looked up the card market lowest listing price, and I must admit they are pretty smart that they are going to sell their collection right now, because it went up to $3 to $4 per card. For me it felt really risky to purchase them, so I checked the conditions on these cards and decided to take home the best condition ones, only a couple of them. I'm not sure if people are still buying it for a little bit more than the lowest card market listing prices. So that's a little bit of a risk for me. I have tons of these cards in my personal collection from the time that I opened Celebrations packs myself. Here we have the Groudons that I ran out of stock on. I had them hundreds of copies purchased for 50 cents or so and able to sell them for $2 a piece each. And I think they're now going up to $1 to $2 a piece on lowest card market listing. The Clef I have been able to make a small profit on each sale as well. Cool card. And the thing with Celebrations is that it is a small set. So if you have a large portion of the small set, people don't mind spending a buck or two extra on each card if they can buy it from one person. Obviously by delivering the service and make sure everything arrives safely. Making sure that the card condition above all is as described, which is in my opinion the most important point. I never ran into any issues from the seller perspective on that aspect. A little bit proud of that as well. As we have the Xerneas, and then we have 3 more expensive cards. The Blastoise is going up in price currently. We have another one, and then we have the Venusaur. For this stack of cards I paid $100. If you have a couple of cards that are around $15 each, some cards that are $5 each, this one is closing in on the $15 as well. Some $2, $3 cards. Then you have some $3 to $5 cards at this moment, it seems. A couple more $2 to $3 cards here, and then you get some more $5 cards each. I hope to get still a little bit more profit on them if I'm going to sell them. I'm not sure, maybe I'm going to keep some of these cards as well. And then you have obviously the Celebrations book. The Celebrations booster pack had 4 cards per pack, and this is what you pulled mainly from those booster packs, and every other time you had in the secret rare slot or the pack another classic collection. So these bulk cards, they asked 2 cents a piece. I paid 8 cents a piece, and I already sold a couple of them for 50 cents a piece. People want the Lunala, the Lugias, the Ho-Ohs. Some people like to buy the Cosmoem for the Lily in the artwork. And I must admit, I have not seen these bulk cards for a very long time. I have sold these cards in bulk as well, 1,000 at the time. And I start to appreciate these artworks more and more as time passes by. But they are just so plentiful, aren't they? There's so much around of this stuff. Anyways, 100 bucks for this pile of cards. And then we move into the PSA 9 that I'm going to put up for sale as well. It's a Lieutenant Surge Eevee, but it is first edition. And I purchased these cards 2 years ago for them for about 50 bucks. We saw the lowest card market listing of a PSA 9 copy was now 85 bucks, but they were willing to sell it to me for 45 bucks. So I think I can make a small profit on this card. I hope to make a profit on this pile of cards. In exchange for these cards I was able to provide some money to my friends in order to help them with their large purchases that are coming up coming weeks. And that's it for today's story. They had a lot more Pokemon cards. They sold half of it. I took half of the half that was left. They're going to try to sell their Pokemon cards to the larger audience, but they said if you want some more Pokemon cards, you can always come back and see what we have left. So thanks everybody for watching. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all on the next one.